Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Listen, man, if there's no Pap-Proof, that means somebody's innocent. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know the talk of the town right now is that Papoose could be out here with another woman. Now, they've been talking about this Papoose and other women and Clarissa Shields not being the only one for quite some time now. The boxing promoter Papoose has, I'm sure, regretted getting himself into a situation with Clarissa Shields. Not because I don't think he, doesn't, maybe want to be with her in some capacity. Just because of all of the attention and scrutiny, man, that is on him now. I mean, Papoose can't even go get a goddamn scratch off from the goddamn corner store, you know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. People are looking at him still being married, him involved with Clarissa, all the rumors about him and other women. But my thing is this, if there's no Pap-Proof, that means he's innocent. Now, y'all know I'm always going to come out here and defend the man until I can't defend him no more. And I have not been able to defend Papoose because he's been doing some crazy stuff. But in this instance here, I just think there's no Pap-Proof, so we got to hold our horses. Now, why do men cheat? First of all, ladies, not all of us cheat. But I can tell you there was a time with Hood Champion, I never was a guy that did a whole lot of cheating. I was always single, like a lot of the men out there. I mean, if we're single, we supposed to mingle, ladies. Can't get mad at us if we're single and we're mingling. Now with Papoose, he's separated from Remy. He's with Clarissa. But is he single? Is he married? Is he dating? What's his status? All of the above. But my thing is this. There isn't one single reason when it comes to cheating. Now, there's no Pap-Proof. It's like they said with OJ. If the glove doesn't fit, then you must acquit. If there's no Pap-Proof, he's innocent. There's no one reason, man, why people are out here pitching woo while in a relationship. People cheat for a mix of personal, relational, and situational factors. You know what I'm saying? People are going to have their reasons for going out here, man, and pitching woo. It's not just men either. Y'all better hold your horses and not take it to the stupid with that one. The women do it too. Oh yeah, Hood Champion said it. The women do it too. Guilty. But if you're asking why men often do, I mean, hey, you can go ahead and talk from your own experiences and explain that. Or you can do some research, try to see what they say about it online. But there are some common patterns, man. And researchers and therapists will point to it. And they'll say the number one is just opportunity. If there's an opportunity, you're going to be low impulse control. If you're hungry and there's a free meal out there, you're probably going to go take it. You're going to consume it. Simple. And if you're someone out there, man, who has an opportunity to pitch a little woo with a honey, because maybe for some reason you don't feel you're getting what you need or what you want, you're going to have low impulse control, you're probably going to slap it up, flip it, rub it down. Oh no! See, sometimes it's less about deep meaning and more about easy access, baby. Maybe at work, travel, maybe somebody hitting you up on social media in the DMs. You just don't know, but easy access, man. Create those opportunities. Think about weak boundaries. Maybe there's weak boundaries, you know what I'm saying? So you can cross them. But the number one thing I think is poor decision making in the moment. You got to be strong. You got to be strong. You got to show some kind of restraint. You got to respect your partner. But when opportunity meets low restraint, bad choices happen. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm trying to think about myself right here. If I was in a relationship or a situationship, right? And I got someone that's just bringing me headache after headache after headache. And when I'm not with that person, if there's an opportunity that presents itself, where the conversation's nice, the tenderoni is looking right, and everything's flowing, a bad choice would probably happen back in the day, you know what I mean? Now, if you're really in love with somebody and you're talking about this is the love of your life and you want to be with them, you got to show some restraint. You know, some impulse control. But this thing about Papoose being out here, man, look, there ain't no Pap-Proof. So I'm going to say he's innocent. But I will say this, man. Men and women need to be careful because of their unmet needs, whether it's real or perceived, things will happen. Some men will come out here and say stuff like, look, lack of emotional connection. Now, I'm just asking y'all, we on the outside looking in. I mean, everybody talking about Clarissa and Paprissa and shit, you know what I'm saying? Does there seem to be a lack of emotional connection between the two? No, we on the outside looking in. Man, well, who knows what's going on with them two? But just from the outside looking in, I can understand how somebody feels there's a lack of emotional connection between those two. If there was some kind of real emotional connection, they feel like, you know what, maybe boxing promoter Papoose would have been went out there and pushed for a divorce. I don't think it's that easy because you got to put, you know, there's someone else involved there, and not Remy, a little small body. You got to put first and do what's best for that little body. You know what I'm saying? But as far as an emotional connection, is this a real relationship or is this more business? Are they feeling unappreciated? Is someone feeling disrespected? Is there some sexual dissatisfaction going on? You know, when you have unmet needs, things start happening. But it may not be any of that, and it could just be an individual who just has low impulse control and just hot to trot. But it's really important to understand that this explains behavior. It doesn't justify it. So many people feel these things and they don't cheat. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, we're human. Pap is human, Clarissa is human, we're all human. But you know, you gotta control yourself and don't put yourself in situations where you know you got a low impulse control, your blood is hot, and you may find yourself out there rubber-dubbing and pitching wool. Now, I've seen the images circulating, supposedly who, you know, Papoose is out there mingling with. I mean, I've seen all kind of images since August of people posting stuff and saying stuff and sending to me. But my thing is, where's the Pap-Proof? There ain't no Pap-Proof. Makes for a good conversation. It's entertaining. It's funny as hell, though. But I would tell you this, that image that's circulating of that little brown skin honey, I mean, there ain't no comparison physically, at least from what I'm seeing with her, to Clarissa Shields. And I'll tell you what, I can understand how a guy would be like, let me go ahead and roll the dice on this one. You see, ego's not always driven by unmet needs. Some of us men are just dogs. We're just disgusting, ladies. I'll go ahead and say it. Some of us men are pigs. We don't give a damn. You can be married, have 10 children, married, have 10 children, all daughters. You can be dating someone. You can be with someone who's pregnant and you just don't care. She can be giving birth to your child and you won't be there for the birth of your child because you'll be out there with another woman. Some men just don't care. But see, this thing with cheating, you know, I like to talk about ego validation and insecurity. Cheating can be driven by wanting to feel desired, man. Ladies, make your man feel desired. Get in there, make a grilled cheese. fried rice and chicken wings. You know what I'm saying? Cheating can be driven by proven attractiveness or status or feeling internal insecurity. Worst thing you can do is make a man feel insecure, ladies. Because when that one comes by and just smiles, more than likely he gonna consider pitching wool. You see, it's often about how some of these men and also women feel about themselves, not their partner. Now, I don't know nothing about Papoose to say he feels insecure, he doesn't feel insecure, but I would think because of Papoose and his status that he could find himself in situations to where opportunities are probably pretty easy. You know what I'm saying? You figure you're famous, you're well known. There's always going to be some women out there, man, the groupies who are going to want to come out there and, you know, do what they do. But my thing is, I feel like if he was really, if I'm a guy and I'm famous, you would think the women would be talking. Now, I've never been famous and all that, but I know women have always talked. You know what I'm saying? But if a woman's not out here saying nothing, I gotta say that probably ain't no truth to it. I just can't see a woman just being out here and just not saying anything. But some are cool, they know their role, they just have something going on, they enjoy each other's company. But if there's really something serious and a serious relationship, that from them damn people out here with these damn cell phones, somebody would have caught something. And not something innocent. They would have caught something that really would have had Clarissa Shields flying off the wall. But then somebody came on and said, well, what if Clarissa's cool with it? You see, there's a lot of what ifs. That's why I say if there's no Pap-Proof, that means he's innocent, right? But I would say this, man, if there is something going on, probably because of some poor communication. I can only imagine the communication if Pap was trying to say something to her like, look, Big Gwoat, I'm unhappy, feel like something's missing, or there's a lot of negative attention on us. You know, you need to, I think it's smart if you just kind of ease up, stay off social media. I can only imagine that. Because, you know, she'd probably be like, man, please, Papoose. Just like her champion, he call you brr, brr. You over here worry about social media. You're supposed to worry about me. It's about me. Isn't about me. It ain't about you. It's about me. He was like, man, don't make sense trying to communicate with her. Trying to have a hard conversation with her, man. She acting out. Instead of speaking up so we can have a conversation and get beyond this, I'm out, man. And then while he rolling, doing his bars on wheels thing, he may have an opportunity for something. And that's why it's important to really understand and respect each other and be able to communicate. Because if somebody gets a little turbulence in a relationship and they don't feel desired or respected or appreciated, especially if they have some learned behavior and patterns where they grew up around infidelity and it's normalized out of, you know, as far as culturally and socially how they grew up, the past behavior will repeat itself and they will come out here and rub-a-dub and pitch a little woo. See, some of that stuff is thrill-seeking to people. You know what I mean? Like, they want the excitement. Like, I was watching a little bit of that when I was at the gym the other day at Dean the Great and Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner is just thrill-seeking. He's a good example of something. You know Adrian Broner ain't going to be loyal to no woman, man. That dude, and them little clips I saw of him and Dean the Great, Adrian Broner, his whole mission was just to seal the deal. You can see that him and then some women as well, they get bored in long-term routines. They chase something new. They want excitement. They want something different. Especially if there's an emotional disconnection. Sometimes the relationship has already drifted apart, lost intimacy. Cheating becomes a symptom, not the starting point. Could that be what's going on here with Papoose and Clarissa? I don't know. The boxing promoter's got to figure some things out if he's doing it because the cameras are out. People are watching. He can't get away with anything if he's doing it. I know the lady's saying, shit, Hood, you know he's doing it. I don't know what he's doing. But I'll tell you this, if there's no Pap-Proof, it means the man's innocent. But I could see with that relationship, with all the drama, with all the attention and how negative it is, if they don't have a strong bond, I could see how that shit could go left. I really do. Where's the accountability here? Try to think of me back in the day when I was single, and yeah, man, if I have someone who I'm hanging out with and we weren't exclusive, but even so, yeah, I wasn't really in exclusive relationships. I've always been a guy who single, we hang out. You know what I'm saying? You see me with somebody, you don't say nothing if I see you with somebody. I've always been a guy just kind of, floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee and shit. So this thing about infidelity, I'm not saying I haven't cheated before back in the day, relationships, but wasn't nothing, I wouldn't call it nothing serious. We're talking about getting married or nothing. It's just whatever. But for them and what they're talking about, marriage and a child, and where's the accountability, man? They don't live together, but you want to get married and have a child. How does that work? I'm just saying. But it could be what they want. And some people prioritize their wants over commitments. And if they want to live that way and have, households independent of each other, hey, if they want to come out here and socialize and mingle and pitch a little woo, they may do it too. They don't fully consider the consequences because the connection is not really there. So the bottom line, when I look at this whole thing with all the rumors floating around here with the boxing promoter Papoose and Clarissa, look, man. Plus, the rumors are floating around there about Clarissa and Maserati Bud. This is just crazy. When you really sit here and think about it, it's just crazy. Men cheat for different reasons, but it usually comes down to opportunity, unmet needs, character, and choices. If there's an opportunity to pitch some woo, most men are going to take it. Especially if there's some unmet needs in their life, they're going to go for it. But I think the most important truth is plenty of men experience these things and they still remain loyal. So there's a chance that Papoose is out here remaining loyal, but I know the ladies are like, Hood champion, hey, you hold your horses. And stop taking it to the stupid. All I'm going to say is this. I'm doing a video, I'm having a conversation. I'm not trying to make sense of it. Because I can see this whole thing where Pap may have 1, 2, 3, 10 women on the outside. And Clarissa could be okay with all of it. She could be okay with all of it. There's been little things being mentioned on the internet that has me where I'm scratching my head saying, you know what? This could be an extremely happy relationship where kind of cool with the male, maybe have an outside woman. You just don't know. I had a woman back in the day, man, talking about getting married. I was like 24, 23. She was like 28. And I just wasn't trying to get married, And she was like, it doesn't matter if you have other women. You can have other women. I know one day you'll get tired of that and I'll have you to myself. I remember I told my dad that. He just looked at me. He said, don't take advantage of no woman daughter. I said, but she ordered. That's what she's saying. He's like, nah. You go to sleep and won't wake up. He's like, your dad, you don't want that. But she was dead serious, man. So maybe Clarissa got some of that in her. She don't care. But if she is concerned about what he may be doing, well, I'm gonna say, well, let's just wait and see what else the individual out there, what's his name, Maserati Bud? Let's see if something else juicy will come out, because both of them could be cheating, or both of them could be loyal to each other. We don't really know. We don't really know. But when you're trying to make sense of it all, I don't know. I just think there'd be some behavior signals And depending on the behavior, will signal that risk really early. And then, are there any standards and boundaries that's expected from Clarissa or expected from Papoose? Maybe those things can have to protect each other, but where are the boundaries? What standards? What's the expectation? See, I don't know all that. I know this shit is crazy. And it's entertaining. But anyway, absolutely funny to me. Papoose out here with another woman. And for those who say, well, Hood, how do you think you would handle it? I wouldn't be in a situation with somebody like Clarissa. Ain't no way. I can't deal with all that craziness, man. I can't do it. Too much attention, too much negativity, too much drama. I just couldn't do it. But I can tell you, man, I could definitely see there being some opportunities. And Papoose hitting a grand slam, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't be out there bunting no ball. If I'm into the game, I'm hitting a grand slam. I ain't trying to hit a bunt. I don't want your phone number. Now we ain't going to dinner. If I'm coming in the game, I'm trying to hit the grand slam. You know what I'm saying? Hit the grand slam and then I'm up out of there. But ain't gonna be no talking on the phone and this not. Get to the point. Bases are loaded. We need a home run. And that's what I'll be looking to do. Could be what he's looking to do too, who knows? Because it does seem like there's some red flags there from both sides. But how do you tell if someone's being loyal? I mean, can you tell, especially when you're not there? And if there's no trust there, I mean, how do you, if the trust is gone, how do you rebuild that? Takes a special person, unless they just have an agenda. And they're like, I don't care about what's going on or what's being said. I just need to make sure I'm getting my money right. And then I'm up and away. But it takes a special person to be subject to all this scrutiny and negative attention. And to just go about their day like it's not a big deal. I'm not built like that, so I couldn't do it. Anyway, if there's no Pap-Proof, that means he's innocent. But I'm going to tell you, from my trained eye looking at that, I just think that situation is just, I can't see it working long term. That's just me. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Anyway, shit's entertaining. When they going to talk about her next fight? That's what I want to know. When's the announcement? How about that? How about they put that out? Cut down on all this bullshit drama. Let us know when the next fight's going to be. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.